Jackie here from Manchester. Wow, this one's about students and benefits, full-time students and benefits. I'm going to focus on universal credit. I worked as a student advisor and I cannot stress this enough. There's a lot of people that work for the DWP that haven't got a clue about students. They would often just refuse students outright, full-time students not entitled, or they would count too much student loan, or they would count the childcare grant or the special support element. There was problem after problem after problem. I'm hoping it's got better, but I just wanted to address it and give some guidance basically. The key principle is most full-time students can't get benefits. You come under the Student Finance England, they look after you, you get your funding from them, but there are exceptions. Is if you're ill or disabled and you have limited capability for work by the DWP and you're in receipt of DLA or PIP, then you can claim benefits. That's a very complex area and I advise you to seek advice. Student union advisors, go and get advice if you're classed as an ill or disabled student and you think you qualify for benefits. This video is going to focus on sort of universal credits and lone parents. So for lone parents, there is additional support available from Student Finance England. Universal credit was all part of the big benefit reform, and it was a shambles basically, but I think it's in place in most places now, and it was to replace the 6 benefits: income support, JSA, employment support allowance, child tax credit, housing benefit, working tax credit. So universal credit is paid monthly. They talk about it in terms of sort of assessment periods. And for most people, when they apply for universal credit, they have to sort of sign a claimant commitment. You're assigned a work coach and things like that. But if you're a full-time student and you're in receipt of student finance, then there should be no work-related requirements. Okay? So universal credit is made up with different sort of elements. You've got your basic element, and part of the universal credit calculation is to work out your maximum entitlement to universal credit. So it depends whether you're under 25 or over 25. If you're under 25, the basic amount is 342.72. If you're over 25, it's 409.89. Then it's made up of children. So you've got your basic and then children. And it's about when your children were born. So for your first child, if your first child was born before 2017, you would get £281.25 for that first child. Now let's do an example, lone parent, 2 children. Sort of say whatever age 10 and 5, so you would get, and you're over 25, let's just do it like that, so you're over 25, so your basic would be £409.89. For your children, you would get, for your first child, £281.25. For your second child, you would get £235.83. Then they look if your children have got any disabilities and you get different add-ons for that. And then they look at housing costs. Housing costs are linked to your area and local housing allowance figures. But let's say, you had a 2-bedroomed house, there was you and your 2 children in the other bedroom, and you had housing costs of say £420, something like that. So it's obviously means tested, so they take into account your income, and things they should not include are things like your childcare grant, your parents' learning allowance, any hardship funds that you receive. What they do count as income is your student loan, But what they shouldn't count is the special support element of your student loan. And then you need to divide your student loan over the duration of your course, and that gets into sort of assessment periods. But let's just call it 9 assessment periods. Let's divide your student loan over 9 months. Really basic, but I just do want to give sort of an example. So basically, you've calculated your maximum entitlement to universal credit, which was the basic, the children, the housing costs. So you've got that maximum. And then you take away your income, what they count as income. So student loan minus the special support element, divided over 9, and then take away that £110 a month as well. And that's what you should be left with. That would be your figure for universal credit. Please feel free to contact me or ask questions or go and seek advice from your student union. There were so many mistakes, and you really need to flag it up if you think it's wrong. It was wrong more often than it was right, I'm sorry to say. They would often count the special support element of the student loan. They would count all your student loans, so childcare grant, and it'd come back universal credit 0, and we'd just be like, so yeah, appeal it, ask your sort of case manager to look at it again, ask for a breakdown. How did you come to get that figure? Challenge it, get advice. Yeah, it is a complex area, but I hope this has been some help. Thanks for watching. Bye.